welcome back, y'all, to the Woodsman Perspective podcast. Chris and I are in the house, and it's middle of summer.
Yes.
We're smack dab. We're past the 4th of July, and it's middle of summer, and there's a lot to do. There's a lot going on.
We've been after each other to get in here and get one recorded, and kind of what we had our mind set on. And
Yeah, it's
so we're a little. I told Brent, I said, "Look, we're gonna be a little late talking about turkey season." He said, "As long as it's good stories, it ain't never late."
yeah, it doesn't matter. I can
No,
talk about
he's right.
turkeys anytime.
You're right.
We
We had an interesting turkey season. We did. We had a good turkey season. We got, which was great. We had good hatches the last 2 years in Mississippi.
had a lot of turkeys. Had turkeys in places.
A lot of turkeys. A lot of gobbling turkeys.
Yeah.
And we started going back to. You always hear me and Brent talk about the small tracks that we killed turkeys on in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had turkeys on those tracks this year that we ain't had in years.
Yeah.
And I want you to get into that one because it's a great story. And
Yeah, it was a good turkey season. Like you said, there were places that we
lot of
had
people,
turkeys
yeah.
back.
a lot of a lot of jakes, a lot of groups of jakes. It was cool.
I called up a lot of jakes this
Yes,
year.
I mean, and that's good. I mean, because we'll get into it a little later, but boy, I'm glad we had them because looking towards next year, I mean,
Yeah.
we had record rainfalls. I guess everybody had, was coming off the floods out in Texas, which is a terrible thing, and it's been in my mind. I've watched that so bad. Those
It's
people
been
need to be in
a
our
wet.
prayers.
It's been a wet spring everywhere.
And it has. It has rained. We can't confirm, so Brent don't like me to throw something out there that I can't confirm, but I saw it. But it's the wettest May we've had on history because I saw a thing where Tuscaloosa was the wettest May in the history since they've been keeping
Like
up.
most rainfall.
Most rainfall.
accumulate-
Most
yeah.
rainfall in May, which, guys that are turkey gurus, not good for nesting.
Yeah, so especially when we're mostly these river bottom hardwoods, and
Yes.
even though our turkeys sort of move out of those areas, they transition out of there towards nesting season. They're still fairly low, and they're still susceptible to floods. It's different. So the southeast, you think about the southwest, Texas and Oklahoma, places like that. When they have a lot of rain in spring, it's outstanding for their turkeys.
Yes, that's
It's
right.
right opposite here.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
detrimental.
the crazy part is we got all that rain, and one species flourishes, another species don't.
Yeah.
The deer are going to be unbelievable. I mean, we've got more forage. We our a lot of the food plots that we did get in look like $1 million. Okay. Looking at turkeys, 3 weeks ago, middle of June, I've got 4 hens and a gobbler strutting in front of a camera.
Yeah, most likely reclutching, trying to do it
I
again.
mean, he ain't strutting for the hell of it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's breeding her and probably going to have some late, trying to have some late nesting.
Yep.
And look, we met some guys from NRCS on one of the tracks maybe 3 weeks ago, and 2 hens has come walking out of the middle of a thicket that I've never seen a hen in. So they ain't but one reason they're there. They got a nest in there.
Yeah.
So,
Real late.
late nest, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It doesn't look good. The ones you had at your church.
That's right. So
That's the coolest story. Middle of town.
Yeah, right up in town.
Yeah,
There was
tell that little
two
deal.
hens. We saw they had a clutch. They had a clutch right behind a little field behind the church, right, like I said, right in town, and that was neat. So been seeing the hens, and then all of a sudden one day there they were with a little clutch. They were big enough to fly up.
Guys,
Then.
I'm going to tell y'all now, this is in the middle of Columbus, Mississippi, in the middle of town. Subdivisions all the way around it, and there's 2 hens with a good clutch
Yeah.
up there. And I mean, that was pretty cool to see
Yeah,
that.
I haven't seen them this week, but I've got in there trapping.
They ought to be
We're
pretty
also
good
seeing
size,
coyotes too, so I've been in there trapping coyotes this week.
That's cool. That is a cool. That's, when you see those guys and you see you got that a success, and you got this gobbler down here strutting in the middle of June with 4 hens.
Yeah. And look, nature finds a way. At least they do reclutch and they go back. There's something to be said for that. It'll be interesting to see and test the theory, because if you look back the last 2 years, we had some dry springs and really, really good hatches.
Yes.
So it'll be
Two of 'em.
interesting to kind of watch and see if we can see a difference.
And if you remember, Brent, it started raining a lot in April, the last week of April.
Mm-hmm.
Last 10 days of April rained a lot.
Yep.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of, you know.
It don't look good.
It didn't look good. It didn't look good.
Yep.
But
So,
look, we had some good highlights. I mean, we
Yeah.
started off pretty solid. Brent, I'm going to let you take this one over, but tell that,
yeah,
tell that
opening
story.
Opening weekend was interesting. So we're gonna back up and kind of tell a few stories and pull some things, some lessons learned, some experiences
doubt.
from our turkey season. So opening day, it opened in Mississippi on a Saturday this year, and ironically, we were just talking about rain.
Yeah.
Well, it rained pretty hard the night
Yes.
before, that Friday
Yes.
night, and I had in mind the place I was gonna go, but there's a creek I had to cross to get in there, and it jumps. We
jumps
get a good
fast,
rain, it jumps fast. So I didn't want to deal with that creek in the dark. So instead of going there, there's a track a couple miles from there.
Yeah.
I decided to go there early just to listen,
Just to see
just
what
in
was going
case.
on.
And I was going to
Yeah.
go back where I planned to go after daylight, where
Right.
I could figure the creek out.
Right.
So I go in there, and the thing about this place, this is a place that historically, like it's a place of Chris's, and I've hunted it over the years. My daughter killed her first deer there.
Yeah, that's
and,
right.
And
Yeah.
so it
Marty Kate killed her first there.
it used to have, it's one of those properties, and a lot of y'all listeners will know exactly what I'm talking about. It's one of those properties that had turkeys every year in
the
deer
winter.
season.
In the
And
winter,
it's
yeah.
like they had a calendar, and
As
I
soon as
mean,
yes,
I've seen turkeys there the Friday before youth weekend,
and gone.
and then you never see them again. They leave. And there was a
They
pretty,
migrate about a mile.
that's right. There's a pretty visible spot
Yeah.
that they would go to. We knew
Yep.
pretty well the same turkeys, but they left every year.
You couldn't make them stay.
No.
We tried to feed them one time. We did everything
Just to try to hold them. That's right.
to hold them.
Couldn't do it.
They would stay, and like you said, that
Inevitably.
2 or
They
3
made
day
that
of
move.
opening season,
Yep.
gone.
They would be gone.
Yep.
And so, I guess 4 years ago?
4 or 5 years ago.
All right, so
probably 5.
So going into the property, give you a little bit on the layout of the property. 'Cause
Beautiful.
This is interesting.
Pine hardwood.
As you go in the front, there were
Gorgeous.
planted pines that at the time were probably 12 to 15 years old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So once you got into the property, there's probably a 4 or 5 acre food plot.
Big field.
Big field.
Yep.
There was a slough that had, cypress, tupelo gum break around it.
Yes.
Big timber on it. There was some hardwoods in the back, and there were some big pine timber.
Big stuff. Yeah.
It had all the components of good turkey habitat.
No doubt. No doubt.
Like I said, but every year they would leave. So
200-acre tract.
Yep.
Y'all, for people listening, it's a 200-acre tract.
4 years or so ago, y'all cut
Yes.
that big pine timber.
Yeah. Well, Katrina knocked down 40 acres of it, so we figured that up.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago.
So 20 years ago, I mean, it don't even seem like it. We cut it the year after Katrina, and we
Yeah,
cleaned
y'all
it up,
cut some
burned it.
of it, but
Yes,
there was still some
but
big
no,
pine
the big
timber.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They hit
So-
that one side.
That's right. So y'all cut that 4 years ago. I hadn't set foot back on it.
Yeah.
I mean, because you cut that, it really wasn't great.
Because you had those
for-
planted pines.
That's right.
Now it's cut over. We cut 60 acres of it. Planted pines that were now 16 years
So
old.
basically,
It
the
flip-flopped.
composite, of
Yeah.
that makeup of that property flipped.
That's
It-
correct.
all of a sudden, you got early succession with that fresh cut over in the back, adjacent to that slough and that big
Yep.
food plot. And
And
you
then-
kept
but I
planting
had
the
some
field.
pretty good roads.
That's right.
I had good road system.
And then going in there, you had these pines that had gotten a little bigger in age, and so it had flipped.
Yep.
I hadn't thought about that property until that morning. I thought,
Especially
well,
not turkey hunting.
that's right. So I'm just gonna go, and maybe I'll hear something.
How about this? It was one of the first pieces of property that I ever bought. I bought a half interest from a bank. I think they rented some guy out a used car lot, and anyway, they put it up for collateral, and I got it. I got the half interest, and I ended up putting it all together. And never killed a turkey,
Yeah.
ever.
Well, so I went in there that opening day, essentially to kill some time. Kind of curious, that just kill some time to daylight where I could go back and figure out how to get across this creek. So I get in there. I don't hear a turkey gobble. I don't
But it
hear
was a
anything.
bad morning.
It was a bad morning
Yeah.
for gobbling wise. It was still a little bit wet and rainy, overcast, and so after a little while, you had been texting me. You had your own adventure that morning.
Yeah, oh yeah. We'll
So-
get into that one too.
So I got up and did a little bit of walking around, and I saw some scratching. And it was fairly fresh scratching.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a Tacticam. I had a Reveal Tacticam in the truck. So before I left, I went and got that camera, and I put it on a tree on the edge of that field, just looking at this 5-acre food plot.
Just a food plot.
Just a big
That's
field,
right.
just facing it.
Little clover and stuff.
That's right.
In it, yeah.
And in my mind is something, I'll get a picture, cell camera.
But you put cameras in weird spots. Anyway.
I do it a lot.
Yeah, you do that.
So I did this because I knew I could call that camera up anytime.
Yeah.
And I could start monitoring that field.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. Every day, midday, I would just check in every now and then when a turkey would be in a field, and nothing. And I guess it was about a week.
About a week.
A week. I pull it up, and there was 4 or 5 black dots on the other side of the field. And boy, I got to zooming in, and then look,
he's a tech man. He knows I do all this shit.
I call up another picture. I look, they were a little bit closer. But then before long, I could tell. I said, that's 100% gobblers. 100%. So I called Chris and he said, what you doing? And I said, you want to go kill a turkey? He said, where? And when I told him, he said, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that's exactly
and
what I
so
said. I said, hell yeah, we'll go. I ain't got my stuff with me. I said, but I got my gun.
Yeah. So we made the move in there, and the road going in is maybe about a quarter mile.
Yeah.
And the road it's really well huntable. It's got a bend in the road. It creates a blind spot.
But we used it too.
Yeah, and we got up there, cut in, and got sort of close to the field.
Because you pulled that camera picture, you didn't see them. Remember when we got there?
Yeah, I pulled it again. I couldn't see them.
Because we didn't know if they gone.
That's right.
Because a couple hours maybe went by, an hour?
And there's a drainage. There's some water between us. So we just set up. I said, let's just set up and see what we can do. And we sat down and called, and pretty soon, here they come. Well, you would think, so the road leads into the field right in the corner. And they could have walked right up that road, but they cut the corner off. And I think maybe they cut it so they could see back in where we were supposed to be, I guess.
Because we were laying down.
That's right. We were in a pretty thick spot. Mm-hmm. So they cut across the corner.
Yeah.
And there was water between us.
And I'm talking about a foot deep water.
Yeah, and just look.
That deep. A slough. It was a slough.
Yeah. Every now and then, like it was easy, pretty light. I didn't do a lot of calling, but when they would get to a point, it's like I would just bump them. Yep. Just something easy. Mm-hmm. And they turn and walk right across that water. They waded across that water.
I mean, up to their fans. And the cool part is, so we're looking, and I said, Brent, them Jakes, and why we always say
3 Longbeards and 2 Jakes. There was a couple of Jakes in the group, yeah.
And the Longbeards were coming. He said, all right, you get on I'm gonna get on this first one coming because Brent's left-handed. I said, all right, I'll shoot the second one. Well, Brent's was out of the water.
Yeah, it got behind some stuff. Yeah.
And you said, look, we got to make a move. I said, well, I got him on this other one. He said, all right, let's shoot him. Boom. Well, I shot mine in 1.5 feet of water.
Standing in the water. In the slough.
So we run out there and we bump and we run out there to get it. So I run off in the water, and nothing but the fan is sticking out of that water. You remember that?
Yeah.
We didn't, you look at things,
think about after the fact.
Picture's worth 1,000 words. So that fan, I just reached down in the water, pull him out. We we got, basically beating around clothes on, and so we set both of them, took a picture of them. We probably did one of them Run DMC type pictures, but it was cool. And I got to looking at that bird, and he didn't have any water on him.
He was dry.
The bird was dry.
Yeah, it fell in that water.
And the turkey was shot in the water, went under the water, and wasn't nothing but his fan sticking up, and he was 100% dry.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
And we looked it up. So what me and Brent figured, and we tried to call one of our turkey biologist buddies. He ain't returned the call.
Yeah, Will didn't take a call.
But I feel like they were preening.
Yeah.
I feel like those birds were preening and had that oil on them, and it, like a duck, it rolled it off there.
Yeah.
But that was cool. That was a cool.
I've had them flop over in the water and just be messy and nasty.
Oh, my God.
But
how many
this
people
bird
shoot
was
one, they
pull
flip
it out
over?
of the water, and it was just
dry. And he's in the water.
Yeah, we got a picture. I put a picture up on
it is the wildest thing. And
But what was cool was utilizing that camera. And look, we've made several comments about cameras, cell cameras, and not
how they've
not
changed
really
hunting,
being. I got my views on using them on top of a feeder and monitoring, but maybe you rationalize or justify whatever you do.
Look, y'all, I don't care. Man, what's what home feeder, it don't bother me at all. But whatever.
I put it on a field and just checking in, just sort of I could kind of monitor that field, and you could put it on.
But you
like
made
a plot watcher
you opened
type
my
setting.
eyes to roads. They gotta have bait on them. But those turkeys, and it made me look, because in our minds we think that turkeys need. Big open hardwoods, cypress sloughs to roost in, big pines. We don't have that anymore.
It had it when they wasn't there. That's what they were leaving every year.
There's 60 acres of natural cutover.
Yeah.
There's those planted pines that are now 20.
Yeah.
We added that up today.
Yeah.
But I kept those wide road systems.
Yeah.
And those turkeys were walking those roads, and I think they were coming to that clover.
Yeah.
In those food plots. And here's what the sad part, Brent said, Chris, they could have been here the last 4 years. We didn't know about it.
That's true.
And
look, those turkeys, what was really cool about that is we hit that call, and those turkeys, I don't think those turkeys had ever had a call. They did what a turkey's supposed to do, and here they came.
In.
Yep, that was fun.
But that was cool about a turkey's their sense of danger. Instead of walking right to that road to come crack a hen, they peel and walk down the edge of the field and then cut through the water.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to draw her out.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Draw her out of there.
They didn't take the easy path. They could have walked straight up that road, and it would have been a 3 yard. It would have been tight on us.
Yeah, you'd have been. We'd probably have had to shoot, and then somebody shooting the ground to make one fly up. You know,
it would have been tricky.
It was cool.
That was cool how that unfolded.
And that was right before we went to Florida.
Yep.
You know, and then
we left there, went to Florida.
So we wanted to go kill Osceola. So we killed our eastern. So me and Brent and Hunter and Johnny all went to Oak Park, Florida.
Yeah,
Oak Park. And I think you put some videos out, kind of that place that shrunk, but we all wound up killing us a turkey apiece.
Yeah, that was fun. Look, Florida is a fun, really cool landscape to go hunt a turkey. And you, if you've never killed Osceola, never hunted Florida, you need to go do it.
Because the ground is doing this.
Yeah, in places, and there's places where it's just limited. It's limited landscape to go do it.
And that's why you've noticed that the price on those suckers.
Yeah, they're in demand, and it's
because people wanting to do the Grand Slam. You got to you got to stop in Florida.
Yeah,
you know, and but that was cool. It was to see that old land, old Florida growth timber that we saw in the back that time, and that was cool.
You'll go see turkeys in a spot where if you're used to hunting the easterns or even out west, the turkeys should not be where they are, and that thick, wet stuff.
And some pretty good fried shrimp. On that trip, that's good shrimp.
Those oysters were good. Yeah. Oysters would have highlighted that.
Them oysters was right. Yeah. We ate 2 sacks of oysters.
Yeah, and that dang electric Ranger that run about 70.
That was wild. I agree with that.
That was bad.
Man, that's tough. So, we go there and hunting was very good. I mean, at home. When we come back home,
we had
solid. Gobblers were gobbling. We had turkey. So, another interesting story was. We had a track that me and Brent has killed turkeys in the past, but there's a small track going over by the river, Wavy Ferry.
Yeah.
So we've got the lease on.
That's where I was video. Look, I went out there and video. I was watching those turkeys in February.
Yes.
They were strutting and with hens in February.
That's where we saw all of them, and we knew.
This is where he was opening morning.
Yeah. So I was there. Opening morning, because it rained. Like I said, it rained on us, and I knew the place. I mean, it rained a lot that day before. Yeah. So I said, look, I'm going to go there. There was 2 gobblers, been coming every day, 15, 20 hens. I knew it was going to be a
I'd been in there video, so I had a blind in there. I put a blind there so I could video.
So I said, well, I'm going to get there, and there's always, y'all, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's always that piece of land that guy hunts. That somebody lets a guy hunt, and he's usually not from
Sometimes
there.
I'm that guy.
No. And look.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. They had about 20 acres of woods. And so we got the whole place kind of managed in fields, and, we kind of do it right. And we haven't killed a turkey in that place in the last 5 6 years.
Put that field in there.
We put that
try
field
to try to improve it.
Yep. And it's kind of a sandy place. So we're sitting in there, and I'm hearing turkeys just pow, pow. They're gobbling. I said, I know them too. I mean, so I knew they were there, and it was good. It was getting about time, and all of a sudden you always hear that boom. I said, God dang. It was so close that if I'd have had a cowboy hat on, it blew it off. So the first thing you think is,
I got a text.
there's a poacher. And then you're like, where the hell would he be? And it was that 20 acres of woods, a guy.
Yeah,
Look,
so there's a
for
slough.
some reason,
they
that
roost on that
turkey,
slough, and
he pitched down on their side, and hey, one of them got sent to no man's land.
yeah.
So that happened. That was opening morning, and
But you know what's funny? So after that,
yeah,
I came over and met up with you.
Yeah.
And we ran one track, and we got to talking about it. And like, I wonder
Where
if
that
they
other-
settled down.
yeah.
I
if that
wonder what
messed
they
them up.
did. Well,
Because they were clockwork.
I had a thermal drone
That's
in
right.
the truck.
Yes,
And
we went to the boat
and look,
ramp.
I'm very particular about. I mean, I am a traditionalist about how I hunt.
I do.
I've got this technology. You could do a lot of bad with it. I do not.
But you do a lot of good
we
with it.
do a lot of good with it. So we were talking about it. He said, it would be cool to run that property and see if they're there.
To
I
see
said,
if they
look,
come back.
hey, let's check it
'Cause
without.
we didn't want to bump them.
We didn't want to booger them again.
Yeah.
But we wanted to see where they were. So we parked, and I run a thermal over them, and those turkeys that came back, they were on your side then.
Yes, they'd come back. I guess they had, after
Yep.
they got scared, they
Yeah, it was a couple hours
Yeah,
had
that's
gone
right.
by. So you could see I could see with the thermal the dots in there, all those hens. And I even said, I said, well, let's look for a bigger dot maybe on the outside.
And you said
it
there's
was
one
just
right there.
like that. And we got over the top of it.
and you got
And I
down
switched
on
to
top
the
of that
zoom
joker.
camera, and you could see it was a tom. And
all of a
while we were
sudden,
watching it,
he gobbled. And that made me feel that was good because, I think they may have shot twice. I can't remember. But I was like, it made me feel good that those turkeys were
That's right.
still there.
and look,
And-
that quick, they were right over there, and he's back
So
gobbling. He's with
you
the
always
hen.
hear that a turkey does not remember. They say that.
He didn't
and,
know.
And he didn't know what that shot was. I mean, it was opening weekend,
Yeah.
opening time. So later,
We landed the
So
drone,
what-
and I left. We
so
didn't
what
hunt it. I mean,
makes
that was
it a great story is I carried my girlfriend in there, and she killed that bird,
but,
big bird.
So what's funny is we talked to a buddy. We got another buddy
That
that's
can hunt that,
That
yes,
can hunt
that's right.
that.
Hunt the same
and you
queen.
thought it was him. So,
Yeah,
so
I was-
all Springs like that's son of a gun.
Yeah.
That's who it is. You can say who it is if you want. I'm gonna leave him out of it.
Never say names, especially
But,
on podcast.
But I talked to this guy towards the end when I got ready to go to Idaho with Mitt back
Yes.
in May. I got a chance to talk to this guy, and I finally told him, I said, well, what about that?
That little track.
And he got to laughing. He said, man, that was the other guy.
Yeah, he said, "Ain't me."
It wasn't him. So our buddy went back in there. He had permission to hunt that property. He went in there the next day,
Yeah, and that guy was back in there.
and
again,
that guy was back in there
trying to kill that other turkey.
trying to kill the other turkey. Back-to-back days on a 25-acre track,
yeah.
20-acre track. That dude was fixing to blow down on another one.
Yeah, and
It's legal, but
listen, maybe the only place he's got. But being turkey managers, be educated.
can't kill them all if you want
You
to have
better
them.
kill him fast.
And we'll go back to
You better get him fast.
this year is going to be one of those years you're glad you
Yes.
didn't kill them all.
No, and that's right. And then there was some jakes, which is
Yeah.
cool. But there again, me and Brent always call those bonus turkeys because they're not places that we set out to go hunt. But every 4 or 5 years, we'll kill a bird on them because Brent's usually the best eyeballs in the country. He'll ride by and he'll done scan. He can scan a damn block of wood to see every turkey in that sucker. Now he's got that thermal. You can't duck from him now. But to see those, and I knew it was going to be a good season because we had not even set foot at the good places. It was the small places, and every one of them had a little group of turkeys. And it was really cool that they were there, and they were, places that
Yeah.
smaller type tracts, 80s, 40s. One of them was 40 acres.
Yeah.
And had a turkey, killed it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a cool thing to have them because that shows you that having those good hatchings helps
And
everything. And
not burning them down
and
every
not
year.
burning them down.
That's,
Not burning them down.
being able to not
and
have to
slack
shoot them
off
out.
of them. And being lucky enough to have managing all this land and good thing a lot of my clients don't turkey hunt.
Having some access.
Having some access, that's a good thing. But
Yeah.
so that was good. That was a cool hunt, and the drone, well, that turkey gobbling. If anything, you didn't have the video on would have been awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't have. Because I don't think I've ever
have a card
seen,
in it. I didn't have an SD card.
I've never seen a drone video of a turkey gobbling, but we saw it.
We watched it.
Watched it. His neck stuck out. Yep. Watched him, and that was cool.
I think he was gobbling at the drone.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know that. You never know, but it was over the top of it. And as we were watching him, you could tell he got a little more excited. Mm-hmm. His head changed color. It
was one of those
kind of
years
strut,
because
then he gobbled.
Skylar wound up killing her limit. Okay, you killed your limit, Mississippi. I killed mine, and that's a That's
so last year
that's
I shot 2. Thing. I didn't shoot all 3. I had opportunity, but I didn't.
But that's right. You let one 2 years
couple
ago.
Of times,
yeah, just let it go. Pulled a mitt, called it in, and watched it walk off. I'm like, what the hell? But
it's just fun.
all right. So, so we got down there. So I had a Texas trip. That guy we worked with, they came down hunting. I pulled a Krim move. They come down, hunted, and I let them come deer hunting. Shot some culls. But made a relationship. I said, hey, man, they don't turkey hunt. Come hunt with us. So we went out and wound up killing the Rio and got him killed. So I had 3 of them killed. And I said, well, and you talked about it. She said, look, I may try to do the slam this year. And I didn't think about it because I'd done it before, but I've never done it all in 1 year.
Yeah, me too. And I had a Wyoming
and
trip,
I turned 50.
Kind of maybe.
I turned 50 this year. So I said, you know what? I think I'm going to try it. But so I kind of gathered, and
once you got 3 legs of it, you got to go.
I had the Florida, I had the hard one, and the Rio. They're done, and then but I wanted to do something different. I wanted to kill an original Merriam, and we say that, and some turkey hunters say, oh, that's not all of them original. They're really not. There's only 3 states that had them: Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona. Had the original ones because they shot all the rest of them out of there. And then those states traded and started restocking, and they took Merriams and put them in Montana. They took Merriams and put them in North Dakota. They took Merriams and put them in South Dakota. And they would swap pheasants for turkeys. They did all kind of cool stuff. You ever read, I got on, reading, if you never watched the introduction of the Merriams, you ought to read it. It's pretty dang cool. So we, as men and idiots, we shot them all out. But what happened was we couldn't kill them all out of the mountains. And, Merriam is a mountain turkey.
Yeah.
But, they're in the prairies now because we put them there. But they were mountain turkeys. I mean, they were in the mountains of Colorado and Arizona and all that, up in New Mexico. Yeah. New Mexico. And so I wanted to kill an original one. And there's maps, the NWTF got cool maps and of where they're at, and so we touched base. We got one of our buddies to say, "Oh yeah, man, I know a guy in New Mexico that's got them. Got some Merriams, and he's not, he's not a big outfitter for turkeys. Remember that, but yeah, man, he's got them, and you can kill them." I said, "Okay." So I set it up, sent my money in for a deposit. And I think it's $1,000, whatever it was, and was heading up there for a 3-day Merriam hunt. 100%.
And that's why we were in New York.
Toughest.
Like I was in New York. Yes. I think when y'all went out west.
So they're not the toughest to kill. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. But anyway,
historically,
and they're pretty. They're beautiful, man. That white. But anyway, so we get there, and New Mexico probably gets 16 inches of rain for the year, maybe 20 at the most of the whole year. So we get up there and to kill them. We went the last weekend because the guy said, "Don't come first weekend. It's usually cold. Last weekend everything will be good." So we get up there and we flying, and so we wanted to kind of make a trip good. So we went to where they had Breaking Bad, the movie, the show. And went all through there. I mean, it was cool. Went to sit at the, all the little stuff. Skylar wanted to do all that stuff. So anyway, she liked Breaking Bad. So I'm on. But they ate the best damn hot dog I ever ate in my life. The hottest dog is unbelievable chili dog. If people's ever been there, they'll know what I'm talking about. The chili was unbelievable. But anyway, so we do that, and so we go to the hunt, and we get up there in the mountains, and beautiful land. I mean, those ponderosa pines, those big mountains. It was so cool. Elk country. It said there's a chance for snow, and I said, And they said, it probably ain't going to rain. I said, well, it's showing 80% precipitation for 3-4 days. He said, it just up in the mountains. It always rains a little bit. Okay, no problem. So we get up there, and the first day we go, and, a lot of times guides they big to want to put you in a blind. And I guess control. They will know where you're at, safety, but it always sucks. If you're a real turkey hunter.
Yeah.
I have sat in the blind before, trying to kill one with a crossbow or in an area where you just didn't have any trees, but I ain't loving it. I'm gonna tell you the same way. So they stuck us in a blind, and man, these turkeys come back here and roost. Nothing. I mean, we're sitting under the roost tree, and a little tough.
Don't feel too sporty.
Nah, I mean it just anyway. So they come here every day, and they fly up. One of the biggest thunderstorms I've ever seen blows in. They like to blow the blind off. We leave. It's cold. It's raining sideways.
Bad luck, slip
rock. Turkeys are in the tree above us. Then flew up behind us, roosting in the tree. I would not, knock on wood, wasn't the last day, but I would not shoot one out of a tree. I said, I am not shooting a damn turkey out of a tree.
I didn't fly out here to do this.
No, I didn't. That's not the grand slam I wanted. But anyway. Last day, I'd probably...
It'd be a different story.
Yeah, it'd be like a dove on a power line. Oops, well, that's a good one. But I didn't do it, and so it pours down rain, and it rains like 1.5 inches. So, I got a quarter of the rainfall on the first day we're there for the whole state. I'm like,
for the year.
Almighty, man, what's up? And then the next day, it starts snowing. We wake up the next morning, and there's 6 inches of snow all over the vehicles. And it says maybe a foot. So we go out, and it's snow, freezing. We didn't put that weather.
Didn't pack for that.
So I told the guy, I said, look, bud, I said, this ain't going to get it. We ain't going to be able to make this work. Do we got anything? He gets on the phone. He calls a buddy, and, hey, yeah, man, he's got some turkeys down south. I said, hey, are they Merriam's? Yeah, they're in the mountains of Merriam's. So we drive 3 hours. So we rented a car. We rented a Jeep Grand Wagoner. Pretty damn good vehicle. It really is.
Yeah, pretty
Never
nice.
drove one, but it's pretty cool. I think it'll fly. And so we rented one of them, and so we drove 3 hours south, and we're hunting right in the middle of BLM. Basically core land. And you can see tracks in and out of people's done been hunting the dog fire out of it. So we get there, we hear a gobbler, we get over there, and dude, it's like he's been played with a piano. And I'm like, God, this is 100% success. Whether I said this thing ain't gonna happen. And Mennonite buddy of ours, he did his community service out there in Albuquerque, where we was at Albuquerque, and I picked, look, when you get desperate, you go to calling. So I picked the phone up. And I said, look, Sherwin, you got oh, yeah, we got a guy that we stayed with, and he's got some little small spots right in town. I said, okay. and I didn't flinch on me in town, what it meant, but okay. He said, he got turkeys on. He says he sees turkeys. Sends me a video like 85 turkeys in one field, strutting and all this. I was like, man, okay. I'm in the game. But he's only got 26 acres, I think. And I was like, but hey, it's either core land, snow. So it was desperation. So on the way down south, and we went down there where they found Smokey the Bear at, down at Caspin. Mm-hmm. And we hit the Billy the Kid Museum. I'm going to make the best of that trip. We hit the Billy the Kid Museum.
Yeah, you're a tourist.
Yes, tourist attraction. Smokey the Bear Museum and all this stuff while we were there. But anyway, I said, look, it's kind of on the way down. I said, let's go by and scout this place in case our south place go. You got to think, when you're out hunting.
Got to have plan B.
You got to have a plan B. Yeah. I'm just telling you, if you've never took a trip, you take trips all the time, you can laugh. You'll sit back and say, dude, I know what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we drive through this man's land, get on Land Glide, you can find it. Look, we pull up 7 strutting turkeys in a man's yard. I said, interesting. Another turkey over here strutting. I said, and he had land where a river run through it. Had some trees. I said, dude, we're in the game. I said, if we have to, we could kill a bird if we have to. But now, remember, we ain't out there for 2 weeks. I mean, we only have about 3 days. So we go down to Caspian. We strike out. Not good. Ate a pretty good cheeseburger. And so we're coming back. I told her, I said, look, it's probably not going to happen, but I think I'm going to use the best intel and the best place to kill one. I think it's on the Mennonites' place, 2 hours to the north. He said, okay. And that's where Fort Sumner, that's where Billy the Kid got smoked down at. And they say he's
supposedly.
I don't know. If you watch
Young Guns,
he's still running. That's right. They shot through the commode. And
I heard they did AI, the facial recognition on that.
Is it like 17
guy?
Of them?
And the guy that is the character that originally in Billy the Kid and one of the Young Guns.
That's Emilio Estevez.
Not him.
Oh, okay.
But in one of them they had an old guy that claimed to be him. They told the story about
Brushy Bill.
They run AI.
Brushy
facial recognition, and
there
was like a 99% chance
that's
it was
wild,
him.
Man.
And they had to compare it to the one real photo of Billy the Kid.
So we leave Caspian. We're headed 2 hours north to hunt 20 acres, y'all. I mean, we were down to victuals. So we're driving up through there, and I need a little gas. Old Wagoneer need a little gas. So we pull into a little stop in between, and we're sitting there. Pretty nice store. Pretty cool stores.
Got your camo on?
Full camo. I'm camo, and Skylar's camo. So Skylar's pretty good looking. I mean, if you see her walk in, you looking. And so we go in, get us a drink. I'm pumping some gas. So when we come out of the store, there's a guy sitting beside the truck in a Ford truck. Got his window rolled down, he's eating sunflower seeds. So I walk up there and the tags on the Wagoneer, so hurts. So the tags were like Minnesota, I think. They were Minnesota. So he done spotted us walking in the thing. He probably saw her and run that eye out there. But anyway, so I'm pumping gas. He said, "Well, y'all hunting?" I said, "Well, hunting turkeys." He said, "Really?" And he said, "Is this turkey season?" I said, "Yeah, that's turkey season." I walk over to him, and he said, "You don't sound like you from Minnesota." I said, "I ain't from Minnesota." He said, "Well, your tags say that's a rental car." He said, "Where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Mississippi." And I said, "She's from Alabama." And he said, "I got a little land in Mississippi." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I got a little land down on the coast." And I said, "Well, that's good." I said, "Well, where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Roswell." I said, "Okay." And we went to the Roswell Museum too. Aliens. It was pretty cool. So we hit all three of them. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so we're just talking, and I said, "Man," I said, "I've killed all three of the birds. I want to kill a grand slam. I turned 50." And we're just talking. I'm just, and he said, "Really?" He said, "You flew all the way out here to kill a turkey?" I said, "I did." And I said, "We got snow. We got 18 inches of snow." He said, "You must have been up in the hills." I said, "I was." And told him. He said, "Man," he said, "I got a bunch of those turkeys on my farm. On my ranch. Okay. I got ranches out there." I said, "Oh, ears." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." And he said, "We don't hunt them." He said, "But they're everywhere." He said, "You can ride right up there to them." He said, "There." I said, "You got water?" He said, "Well, kinda." But he said, "Yeah, I got my own water." And I didn't know what that meant. Like, okay. And so we're just sitting there. I said, "Look, I'm throwing a Hail Mary." And then I said, "Listen," I said, "I'll pay you. I'd like to kill this grand slam." And he said, "What are y'all doing now?" And I said, "Well, we're heading back up to hunt on the Mennonite
20 acres.
20 acres. And I said, "Things ain't looking good." He said, "Well, if you don't kill me, y'all follow me up there to my farm." He said, "It's on about 30 minutes
That's
away.
what he said, if you don't kill me?
Yeah.
That's funny because you sent a text.
Because what I done, now let me tell y'all something, guys. And people out in the Midwest, they are good. There's still good people left in this country.
Yeah.
I'm just telling y'all. But there are some weirdos left in this country. And I got a good-looking blonde in there with me. So we start following him, and I'm hearing negative Nancy. "Oh, what if they kill us? Da, da, da." So I took pictures of his truck, his tag, and
me and Mitt start getting these random, like, what is this picture?
Well,
what is this?
I was going to send them to Mitt and Hunter and you. and yours didn't go through. Mitt's went through. I sent the tag number and F-150. You remember that?
Yeah.
And I sent to Hunter. Hunter picked the phone up and called me. I said, look, if we get killed, we're on this road, and this is what the guy's driving, and he's got a dealer tag. I said, I'm just telling you. He said, all right, no. He said, let me know, man, let me know. I said, all right. Because there are no cell phone service up there now. I mean, New Mexico is wild. It's a wild country. Beautiful country, but wild. And so we follow this guy, and you know, we get to this beautiful gate, stone, got a big Indian sitting on there, full-size Indian on a horse shooting a bow into a buffalo.
On his gate?
Yeah, at the gate. Full grown. I said, yeah.
Was it carved out of wood or a statue?
It was metal, out of metal. Cool. Statue, a sculpture type deal. And I said, well, you know, you don't see that every day. Gate opens up. We ride through. I look at her. She look at me. I said,
closed back behind you?
Yeah, closed back behind me. And, I mean, I got a good sharp knife and got my shotgun. And I'm going to tell you something. I think of one of them Apex put the pepper on somebody's ass at, 50 yards. I figure if it kill a turkey, it'll whack a human up pretty good. So anyway, you just don't know. So we pull up there and we ride up his driveway in this beautiful lodge sitting on top of this canyon. And I'm like, so we pull up and we step out. The first thing I hear is, caw, caw, in the yard. And I'm like, so you go from sad to very happy when they're gobbling in the yard. And I'm like, did you hear that? And he's, oh, they do that all the time. And just the best dude. So he gets us on there, and he had a great place. He had been working on it by himself. It gave him a hobby. He had been in the car business a long time, and very successful guy. And just genuine, good person. And it makes you think, man, they're still good people. So we rode, we looked at his place. I gave him some ideas on some management stuff. We just jailed. And we rode past turkeys like, there's one there. We'll come back. They'll be here when we get back. And I'm, okay. So we're riding on this Ranger, and we're looking. He carries us and shows us, beautiful elk and a bear track that big. And he comes back and says, you want to go kill one? I'm like, yeah, I'd probably go kill one. I've been hearing turkeys the whole time we're there,
He's got them named.
Done rode by Jimmy and little Tim and all them. And so he lets us out. It don't take long, and we kill a turkey. And could have killed another one. Was going to try to kill Skylar one. And he tried to get us to stay. And, we sit with him up there, and he had a drink. And, it was just cool of accomplishment of a person to say.
Tell me about him having his own water.
So when we got there, I said, they ain't got no damn water. It's in the mountains, He goes and flips a switch, and a Caterpillar diesel engine cranks up. Whoa. I said, okay, I'm waiting. And all of a sudden, this beautiful waterfall starts coming down the side of the mountain and goes into a pond, and it regurgitates and goes back up. And
got his own river.
And when he turned that thing on, those turkeys come out of those hills, because they don't have no water, but they come out of the hills, and, it was unbelievable. And he was cool. It was pretty cool. He found a spring on 400 acres away, and he took a dozer and dug it out and put a pump in it and run a line all the way down and had a diesel engine and crank that thing up, boom, boom, and here comes water. Because out there, if you got water, you are the king.
Yeah.
So, it's deer, the elk, the bear, the cougar, everything. It was a cool thing, but y'all, it goes back to there's still some good people in this country. And being nice to people, not high-hatting them, goes a long ways. And being yourself and just, hey, not to go tell your business, but, look, he saw us at a store.
Yeah.
Did God send him that way? Yes, 100%. He saw us at that store. He didn't have to stop asking what we were doing. But he was taking a call. He was taking a conference call, and he didn't have any service. So he comes to that store to do his webinar.
Yeah.
Webinar. And we went back up, and I called him. And matter of fact, his son And my brother had hooked up before and done business, and I've got them buying some product from each other, and they were doing some of that stuff, and it was cool. It's in the cannabis business, and so it's cool. I mean, you just relationships start in hunting.
Yeah, look, I've tripped out west in Nebraska, knocking on doors, talking to people. Had some conversations that led to access and turkey hunting, and people I still talk to every now and then. And that's you hear stories about that from people go out to the Midwest.
Hunter and Johnny Cream. That's how they made.
They built a network.
Yeah. Built a network doing that, and it was.
And while you were there, I was in New York.
Yes,
hunting with those guys, and that is fun.
That's some cool.
I'd never been in the Northeast like that to hunt, and I went to New York with them. And I don't know what I was expecting from that landscape, but I wasn't.
Those rock walls.
Those rock walls and those that I wasn't expecting that much ag. So that much farmland and those rolling hills.
It's steep land.
Yeah.
But those cows, and you always talk about those one-legged, cows got the legs longer
walking
than
them hills.
Walking the hills.
Yeah. That was
beautiful cows. Yeah. How pretty those cows.
Yeah, look every day.
Oh man, those
New York was
Doug's
fun.
Dairy.
Yeah.
God, dog.
Yeah, upstate New York was a lot
of fun.
But
that was cool.
Yep.
Good pizza.
Good pizza, good ice cream.
Hunter, he gonna find that big ice cream. Yeah. He
every day.
Every day.
Hit the ice cream.
Sprinkles. He likes those sprinkles. Which sprinkles all right. When I was 10, but Hunter's he's got a kid in him. But it was cool. I got to do the slam in 1 year, and I'm going to make. I usually don't do it or talk about it or whatever, but I'm going to do it, and I did it cheap. Now I paid for that hunt in the snow, and didn't kill nothing. So just remember that. Be
Plan B.
Plan B. You got to have Plan B, and everybody I talk to, man, you go up there, you blow them down right off the bat, and really, let me put it this way: if it wasn't snowing, the guy had birds. It was pretty. He had turkeys. It was beautiful land. But just that weather, you can't control that weather. And they only got 2 weeks of hunting season. So you didn't have time to say, I'll come back, and you flew halfway across the country. But, making a trip of it, going, like I said, we went to Roswell, saw the UFOs, and it looked
pretty cool.
I ain't a conspiracy theorist, but
something to it.
Something to it.
Yeah.
No question. Something to that, and the man we hunted with was a strong businessman, had ties. That was just in 1947. And his banker, whose daddy was a banker, knew the guy personally. That was not a big place.
Yeah.
100% said it happened.
Yeah.
100% said it happened.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Those legends don't grow out of thin air.
And look, this ain't like a guy that works at the pawn shop and probably does a little meth. These sharp guys. And
you paint a picture.
Yeah, and probably sheetrock guy. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, he said it was 100%.
Yeah.
And so that was good. You make the trips good.
Aliens aside, that makes a good point. When it comes down to a trip, I've said this before, and you need to
because you struck out on some, made some long trips and didn't.
I don't remember that.
I thought you down in Florida, you kind of
see. That's the thing. That's where I was going.
I can't remember. Maybe it's another guy.
No. That's exactly the point I was about to make. Is you go on a trip, and it's easy if you don't kill a turkey right off the bat, you get a little anxiety creeping in because you had all these expectations.
You feel that heat
and you can rob yourself of a good time.
Yeah.
I went to Florida with y'all and New York.
Yeah.
With I got camera gear. I'm going to have a good time. I want to kill a turkey, but I'm going to have a good time. I've got now where I'm going for the trip, for the fun, for
get away from that job.
And Florida, so Hunter killed a turkey pretty quick, right? And then next morning, you kill a turkey, and all of a sudden, all the heat's on me.
That's right.
Everybody's checking in.
Everybody, hey Brent, we saw one on the road up there.
yeah. So you get this anxiety and this pressure that builds, and I didn't feel it. Eventually I did because y'all wear me out.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
killed a turkey.
We're running that option move. But
that's right.
The biggest turkey out of all of us. Well, that was a good turkey.
Killed a turkey, had a good time, and
good intel.
And New York was very similar. We get up there and just a good group of guys that hunt together every year, and they're killing turkeys. And look, I had the first morning, I videoed a bird strutting out in the field with some hens, and the neighbor across the road had his American flag in his yard, and a turkey lined up with it. Yeah. Got some really good footage.
I thought you cropped that in.
No, it was legit.
We're gonna crop some shit on it.
I will, but I didn't. Had a good time, but like didn't kill a turkey the first day. Yeah. And it's, hey, what about Brent? Brent killed. And like I was riding down the road with Hunter, and you can whoever he's talking to. No, he ain't killed one yet.
He kind of looking over his shoulder on you.
Yeah. So
kind of high at you.
You can that pressure can get built up, but you gotta have fun when you travel
in your life.
You gotta when you get on a trip. Don't let the pressure to kill one cheat you out of a good time.
Yeah. I mean, it look, man, I can look back at memorial hunts and look back at we've killed a lot of birds over the years, and but it's we go back to and we was talking to Dave Owens about but the scenery and where the beauty of the timber you killed in and the
There's so much.
Your granddaddy's gun or this where he killed one. Don't let it rob you the experience.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing better than laying my back against a cherry bark oak tree and hearing that turkey gobble.
Yep.
And I put you on that one. I said, look, go to this. You can kill one.
Yeah.
Because we did it in the past.
That was one of those.
And, dude, that was one where beautiful river bottom.
Perfect.
Swamp.
Knowing the land.
Turkey,
so
because we've hunted it in the past.
There's a spot. It's bottomland hardwood. This was my second turkey in Mississippi. So this is a track. It's a river bottom track. It sits low.
Yes.
And
a little bit of elevation on one little ridge.
There's one, and he says ridge. And the first time, we'll back up. First time I went there hunting with him, and he kept saying there's a ridge right up here. Yeah. And so we're going, and I can see 300 yards up through these woods, and there ain't no ridge.
Yeah.
Well, we get up there, and there's a subtle. It's probably a foot of elevation change.
Maybe.
But it's dry, and it goes to different. There's white oaks there, and so. It's a very small, very subtle elevation change.
Yeah.
And those turkeys use it.
Probably goes a quarter mile when you it's real narrow.
And so I was back in there this year.
Yeah.
Turkeys are gobbling on the other side of it, but I'm in so I go straight to it. Knowing it's there.
Where it was. Yeah.
Knowing it was there, I struck out wading across. It was water as far as I could see, but I knew that spot was there, and I knew I could get to it.
In the black dark.
And so I went right to it. And as soon as I got to it, I sat down. And the turkeys pitched out right to it. It was textbook. But it was textbook because I knew.
We've said this from the first podcast we've ever done. Get out and walk your property. Yeah. Know your property.
If you hadn't have known that was there, you would have because there was a food plot.
You would have swung out
right where I was. You would have set up right there,
and he never came.
And that turkey would have sat there and gobbled all morning on that
little ridge.
Yep.
Because they do that. Because we've already proved that they will walk through that water.
Yeah,
That was me and you 2 years prior to that.
Yeah.
We had two come in the fall.
But they were coming to it.
They were coming to it.
Yeah, we didn't call them off of it. They walked through water to get to
that ridge.
That's right.
Because they know that time and time again there's supposed to be a mate
on
that ridge.
Yep.
And it makes for a good hunt. But, I mean, there we're going to go again.
Yeah, knowing that landscape, knowing that property.
And if you're hunting property that's a friend's or somebody else, ask them.
Yeah.
Any ridges out there, some people, I don't know, but
yeah,
some are going to know,
That turkey right there was knowing that little ridge was there, getting to it, being confident enough to get to it.
But it was a good year. Every one of our group, and we got a pretty good little group, we all had good action. We all killed turkeys.
Tell you what I had this year.
And then I had another track. No standing timber on it. Track, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm thinking.
West of town, where the big gas line is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No trees, but started seeing some turkeys. But I do a lot of burning. I've got great food plots. I burned a lot of that track this year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there again, turkeys come off the neighbor, and I started seeing them, and I saw 9 gobblers during deer season. I'm like, where did they come from? Somebody trying to sell me this track again or something. They let these out. And those turkeys stayed there. Again, we've never went and listened. So when I burned that habitat beside it, they came there every day. So I put a camera in the field.
Yep. Lesson we learned from opening
lesson
day.
we learned, opening day. Boom. They show up. They're there every day. And a guy whose son that I caught his first turkey up last year, Little Creek, him and his daddy, John, he called me and says, look, Harry, he said, Creek, he said, we done been with 7 different people. We ain't heard a turkey. We ain't seen one. Creek said, call Chris. I said, all right. I said, I think I know where one's at he can kill in the morning. I said, go to this place. I said, y'all have deer hunted it before. Go down to the inn. I got a blind set up. There's a blind down there. Get in that blind because there's no trees. I don't have any trees to hunt, so you have to hunt a blind.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the, if you don't have any trees to sit by, they're going to pick you out. They got in there, and he killed one, and his daddy got to kill one with him.
Yeah.
And it was his first turkey.
That's cool.
That he'd ever killed, and both of them together,
cool.
and that was a cool hunt.
Yeah.
And that meant a lot. I mean, they sent me pictures of both of them holding those turkeys, and dude, I didn't kill a turkey on it.
Yeah.
But another guy killed his first turkey. So 2 guys
I love
killed
first
their
turkeys.
first turkeys, man. And is it because I've done land management practices?
100%. 100%.
I got out there and burned
intentional
it. Yes.
land management, burning and keeping that track in early succession.
But I tell you what I learned. I'm fixing to start managing heavily on that side of the property for turkeys.
4 turkeys, yeah.
Clover. I've already got clover lined out to plant down. I got in the CSP. They let me widen roads 100 feet wide.
Ooh, that's going to be
next
big.
to cover. I mean, it's going to be good.
Yep.
And it's going to be a pretty good little experiment.
Yeah,
but I mean,
that's going to be good.
Dude, I mean, the turkey season was just good.
Look, I had, and look, again, you turkey hunters will know what I'm talking about by this. I had one of those mornings or one of those days that you always look back on. You think about, when you think about those good turkey hunts, think about the times that you kill one, and you're hearing another one.
Yes.
Or you kill one and y'all hang it up and you go get on another one. Me and Hunter did that one morning. We're on a Saturday.
Yes.
We're on that track south of here.
Yes.
And we got in there. The first turkey we went to, we boogered up. We didn't know. We stood right under him and we bumped him.
Pulled the helicopter.
Went to another turkey. He didn't do right. He pitched away from us. There was a turkey gobbling on a ridge. We ended up making some moves. Hunter killed that turkey. We were walking back, and I cut just pop, 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 and turkey gobbles.
Where he's supposed to be.
We throw a setup together.
Where that old field is, yeah.
Didn't gobble again.
A pasture. Yeah.
So we were like, well, let's just make a loop. So we went back the other way because we had to go out that way. Let's make a loop.
Change
we'll
direction.
Try him on the way out.
Change a little direction.
Made a loop, just took our time. It was a beautiful morning. Look, it was warm, clear, bluebird day, and struck a turkey up. About as far as you could hear a turkey.
Yeah.
But he was in a pasture off the property, and we were in the woods. We sat down because he gobbled again, and he had come a good ways. So we sat down. We sat down. Hunter sat behind me with the camera.
Yeah.
Called that turkey. The turkey
I want to come down the fence.
Came down the edge of the pasture.
That's cool.
Crossed the fence, crossed the ditch, then crossed the creek.
And got
shot it.
That's cool.
And but that was one of those days where
that you remember.
Like we left, we had one hanging in a tree already.
Yeah.
That was one of the days you look back on like that's
we did
those days.
Lionel Richie hunt that time.
like the Lionel Richie hunt.
Yeah. We've probably still got that picture. We'll put that Lionel Richie one out there. But that was cool. I mean, just we love it and we talk about it because its memories is burnt. It's burning your mind.
Well, so those stories, those things we just talked about, that's the reason. So you look back, hacking, squirting in February, mulching, the things, all those things you do.
So
that's why.
We got in, like I said, we got into CSP, and we're going to have it's a conservation stewardship program.
We got this seat open thinking Mitt might show up. We're going to talk a little CSP, but I don't know if he's going to make her.
He's like that mink that you're trying to catch. You never did catch him.
Never even saw him.
Little eyes, but nothing else. But in February, I had a crew in there hacking, squirting, my guys, and I was in there with that machine. You got some pictures of it. Had old radio on there,
mulching.
And we were mulching a 5-acre thicket that had gotten older. It was 6, 7 years old. And it got brushy.
10 or 12 years old.
Yeah, I guess it's right.
Yeah.
And we were mulching that stuff, laying it on the ground.
Bunch of ash.
Hardwood. Because it was under the CSP, it was put back into a wildlife opening. So I was setting it back, and it's the best habitat, nesting, brooding. And look, right now, Brent, it looks like $1 million. Remember how it had all those old Hercules clubs and toothache trees all in it? Remember that I showed you one with the little spikes on them? If anybody's ever heard of toothache tree, cut a little piece of it, Indians put it, and it feels like a sour persimmon.
So that was adjacent to a spot we always called the Turkey Road.
That's right.
And that was why, like that, there was a food plot. There's a creek through there,
and it don't flood. And it's high.
That's right. It's a high spot, and that clearing back when it was first done, that was
cats me out.
Move there when it was towards nesting. Turkeys always move up,
and they would be gobblers rooster. But as we let it, and me being a habitat guy. But you do other people's work.
You get a lot of projects on the other end of the property, too. Think about everything we did on the lower 200 and the Airhead. That spot on the other side of the property, I think it just kind of out of sight, out of mind.
So we just went in there with a skid steer. I rented a skid steer, $700 a day, and went in there with a cutter, and I laid that track on the ground. And then
a day and a half, 2 days? A
couple of days. Yeah. And let's see. About a day and a half.
Yeah, I mean $1,500.
Yeah, $1,500.
Pretty much.
Plus or minus. But I laid that 5 acres back, and which CSP paid for it.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's
why
the good
not
thing about these conservation stewardship programs.
Woo.
That's
the
what it's there for.
There ain't no doubt. I mean, if you've never heard of it, we're gonna have a podcast on it. But it's a solid deal. I mean, I've seen, and you know, getting in there and doing that hacking squirting. I mean, so we hack and squirt a bunch of hardwoods, and we got pictures of them too. Y'all that didn't come back, you ought to see the food. Now we've had 20 inches of rain, 15.
Yeah, a lot of rain.
We've had 15 inches.
May
and June we had 15 inches of rain. So I've got some forbs and food, the most unbelievable food. It's unreal, and you know, so that's a cool thing too.
It's still daylight. We might make a round down there and get some video.
Yeah, we do that. But
that's a pretty good recap of turkey season.
It is. That was look. I got fired up just thinking back. You know, I'm in the middle of, you know, you're running wide open, and you've had some camps that you went to, church camp that you helped at.
Been busy with church with the youth.
You know,
and thought you were gonna get abducted by Buffalo Bill. You know, when you're out there.
Yeah, but you know, going back to little things. You know, the flooding in Texas. Let's put those people in our prayers.
Yeah,
I mean that's you know, little kids. 7, 8 years old don't supposed to happen. And
well, guys, thank you for joining us. It was fun looking back on turkey season.
It was, and I hate it's late, but
God, we're hoping that
summer,
all this rain.
Got a lot of projects.
Don't know what it's going to do for
big deer coming.
Ought to be some big deer, but nervous about the turkey hatch.
Yes. So we'll see you until next time. Appreciate you.
Night.